Okay, we're going to do a quick lesson today on seventh chords and seventh chord inversions. Let's start with seventh chords. This is where we got off track on Friday, so we're going to make sure that we get this cleared up and you're in good shape. I was trying to notate a major seventh chord, which is notated M7, with just a 7 here. That's actually the notation for a major minor seventh chord. So a major seventh chord is D, F sharp, A. That's a major triad with D to C sharp, a major seventh interval. That creates a major seventh chord. A major minor seventh chord notated with just the 7 is a major triad, D, F sharp, A, and then a minor seventh interval, which is D up to C natural. That again creates the major minor seventh, notated with just a 7 here. A minor seventh chord is a minor triad, D, F, A, and a minor seventh interval, D up to C natural. A half diminished seventh chord is a diminished triad, D, F, A flat, and a minor seventh interval, which is D up to C natural. And finally, you have a fully diminished seventh chord, which is a diminished triad, D, F, A flat, and a diminished seventh interval, which is D up to C flat. These are the 5 types of seventh chords. Now, not only do I want you to know those 5 seventh chords, which I believe you do, I want to make sure you know how to invert these as well. So, here is a root position D major seventh chord. We are going to turn this into a first inversion 6/5 chord, and we're also going to talk about the slash chord notation of these. You would write this in slash chord notation as it's written here as a D major 7. Okay? So, a first inversion. We're going to take the D, we're going to bump it up an octave. Because it's the 7th, the C sharp kicks out to the left. We also have an A, and we have an F sharp. Again, we're working with the major 7th chord, so it needs to be a major triad and a major 7th here. Okay? This case, we're still working with that same type of chord. It's just in a first inversion. So, D is still the root, but now F sharp is in the bass. So, if we're writing slash chord notation, we're going to call this D major 7 with a slash, and then an F sharp in the bass. Okay, let's move along to the next inversion. This is in figured bass. We have a 4 and a 3, so we know this is a second inversion 7th chord. We want to take our D and move it up the octave, that's the root. Our third, which is an F sharp, also goes up the octave. We still have our C sharp kicked out to the left, and our bass note is now an A. We would notate this in slash chord notation with D major 7 with A in the bass. Moving on to our third inversion of a 7th chord. We have it notated as a 4-2. So, we're going to have the D up the octave. We're going to have the F sharp up the octave. We are going to have the A up the octave. The only thing that doesn't get taken up the octave is our C sharp, which is now the 7th and the bass. The root is still the D, but this is what we're looking at. So, you would notate this in slash chord notation, D major 7 with C sharp in the bass. You can do this with figured bass notation or with slash chord notation for any one of these 7th chords. You simply take the notes and invert them. So, this is how you do 7th chords and 7th chord inversions.